Hey, Shalom, Yashrala, Yabarakam, Yahweh Shem Mashiach Shai. For those of you who know, then you know. Let's get it. This week's Torah portion reading is already going on. It's happening with a baby brew named Gabar. All right. So Gabar is teaching this week's Torah portion. All right. For those of you who know, then you know. All right. This week's Torah portion, we learn about our father Yaquab. Okay. Our father Jacob. Now he's going to turn my camera on just for a moment. Shalom, everybody, and those who's watching. Salute to the 12 tribes scattered throughout North, South, and Central America. It's your brother. All right. For those of you who know me, you know me. So what we're about to do now is I'm going to call in to a conference call number. Now, anybody can call into this conference call number. The objective of this conference call number is to teach our people something that, you know, the church has failed us miserably on, you know, which is learning the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. So we, as a community, as a nation, we haven't learned Yahweh's law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. And that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Because we were sold into slavery and captivity for not keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. So shalom to who's watching. All right. There's more family members that are going to join in. Now I want to show you all how to do this. So I post regularly the Torah portion reading. Okay. And on my phone, I'm going to go to the Torah portion phone call number. All right. I'm going to call it. And this is the part I have a little bit trouble with. Let me see.
Welcome to the conference center. Please enter your conference ID and press the pound key.
Now the conference ID number is 522. Let me type it in real quick. All right, let's see. 522. All right.
Please enter your conference ID and press the pound key.
823. All right. That's the conference call number. Okay. So I'm going to press the number.
Please enter your conference ID and press the pound key.
522 5823. And it's just that easy. There's the conference call number. I'm going to press the pound key.
This call is being recorded.
So, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon him.
Now, while this call is on, I'm going to turn my screen off.
I know it.
So my screen is going to be off so you all can hear the Torah portion reading. All right. I'm not reading today. This is one of my young brothers that I know of. His name is Gabar. He's from the tribe of Gad. Okay. Now, while he's reading, I'm going to pull up screen share. Okay. So Shalom. I'm going to be on mute.
Right here, so
he can't hear me.
After
I just called in on this conference call number. Okay. Here's the pin code. Here's the pin code. All right. I'm going to put the conference call number up so if you want to, you can call in also. All right. So that being said, Shabbat Shalom. It's time to learn.
What's going on? This is my eldest son. Why don't you give him a double blessing? And then Jacob told him, he's like, I didn't know what I'm doing. He basically told him, in verse 19, he says, I know it, my son. I know it. He shall become a people, and he shall be great. So he just knows what he's doing. He just wanted to give a blessing because of he knows what Yahweh is intended for his son. Continue. Oh, Salakia, can you call your verse 2? Shalom to all the people that's joining in as well.
Hey, Salakia.
48 and 20.
Khan, through all that. Salakia, I was just about to ask that. First, Shabbat Shalom to everybody listening. I was just about to ask what verse we are. I am screen sharing, and also we're broadcasting this on Isaiah Yashala on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you brothers would like it to broadcast on your own personal ones, please let me know, and I can link you all in. All right. So, Thawada, thank you for that again, and thank you, Gabar, for your ministry, and thank you for the reader for your ministry. Where are we reading from again? And this is broadcasting live. So, where are we reading from again, please?
Genesis 48, starting at verse 20 at this moment. All right, Genesis 48 and 20. And he blessed them that day, saying, In thee shall Israel bless, saying, Allah may be as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but Allah shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. Halashara, the Bar Yahweh, Na Ashah wa Na Shema. Other Yahweh has said, what we doing here?
So this whole chapter is about Yasharallah, Yaakov, him giving his double blessing and taking in Ephraim and Manasseh as his own. So he's giving Joseph the double blessing and giving Ephraim and Manasseh, taking them as his own, and also giving Ephraim the double blessing out of those two, giving him a greater blessing, saying that he's going to be greater than his older brothers. Anybody have any questions on this chapter at all?
Salat. Khan, I didn't have any questions, but I did want to ask if you can expound on a specific part on Genesis chapter 48, and I believe it's verse 20. Yeah, Genesis chapter 48, verse 20. If anybody's watching, we have it highlighted on the screen. Can we expound on that? Can we unpack that a little more, Baba Kusha?
John. Can you read 20 again, Baba Kusha?
Genesis 48 and 20. And he blessed them that day, saying, To thee shall Israel bless, saying, Allah may be as Ephraim and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh.
Can you finish it up?
And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but Allah shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of the fathers. Verse 22, Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow.
So this, I'll go to an example with Ephraim being more blessed than Manasseh would be Deuteronomy 33 and 17. That's pretty much what that's saying. Like he's gonna be more blessed than Manasseh. It says Deuteronomy 33 and 17. It says his flock is like the firstlings of the bullock, and his horn as like the horns of unicorns. With them shall he push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are the 1,000 of Manasseh. Showing that even in war, that even if you go out through all the scriptures, like it always shows that Ephraim has more numbers than Manasseh.
Okay, Khan Thawada, thank you for that. I wanted to ask a question on that even more so. Ma? Oh, Khan Thawada, I want to ask, I want to read this verse verbatim and ask your opinion on it. And Thawada, thank you for the reader also for reading verbatim again. So it says, verse 20, it says, Genesis 48, verse 20 says, and he blessed him that day, saying, I wanted to unpack this part where it says, in thee shall Israel bless. And then it says, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh. So I wanted to ask you, does this seem like, it would be something that would be kind of culturally understandable if I went to somebody and said, hey man, may the Most High bless you as he has blessed Ephraim and Manasseh. Do you think I would be considered, like, I don't want to say off, but say, like, for example, do you think it would be considered acceptable if I said that to somebody based off of this verse? And with that, I end and yield the floor. The water.
So can you repeat the last of that question again? Can you just rephrase that?
No worries, no worries. So do you think it would be acceptable if I started going up to Israelites, you know, that did me right, or not just say did me right, but like Israelites, like if I was feeling it and I said, you know, saying, may Allah or Yahweh bless you as Ephraim and Manasseh. Like I was thinking, like, is this kind of like a low key, like a small blessing prayer that we say to each other, you know, or that we could say to each other, you know, because of the blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh. And the reason is because it says, "In thee shall Israel bless," saying, you know. So I was just asking. It wasn't a big thing. I was just asking, like, do you think that would be acceptable? Like, yo, man, may the Most High bless you as he's blessed Ephraim. Like, man, may the Most High bless you as he's blessed Manasseh.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. Fine. I think that's acceptable, because especially if you want big favors for them, if you want blessings to go their way, because that's what you're right. So, what Jacob did say, Jacob was saying these things. It says, and he blessed them that day, saying, "In thee shall Israel bless," saying, so Yasharallah Jacob saying, "God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh." So that's something you can say to somebody. Anybody else have any other questions? Or any other questions in general about the chapter? Before we get into chapter 49, I said this at the beginning. I was going to repeat it for everybody else to hear. I'm going to open up the floor for questions at appropriate time. So if you have a question, just wait on that. Also, this is not a platform for debate or for strife. And so if we have any disagreements, we can wait until after class to talk about those. But we're not here to debate or to argue on here. But you're allowed to ask questions though. So, all right, we started on Genesis 49 and 1, Brother Shell.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. Jacob called unto his sons and said, "Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days."
Sorry, very quick. So I would ask listeners, what would be considered the last days? When does the last days start? Like, what are the last days? If anybody has an answer.
Salak. I would just I would say that the last days started at the like kind of like the countdown clock started at the death and the resurrection of the Messiah. That's just my opinion. I yield the floor.
Con. I would agree. If you go to where is that? Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 through 2. Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. It says, Elohim, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his son. So it says, even like in the last days, that's when Hamashiach was on the scene. It says, who had appointed heir of all things, whom is appointed heir of all things, he whom also he made the worlds. So since the time of Hamashiach, those are the times that we've been in the last days. So pretty much everything after that point in time, until now, we're still in the last days. So it's not talking about anything before Hamashiach and these. So some of these verses are, and they're like dual fulfillment, but we're going to these as we get to them. But these are the things that are going to be pretty much taking place now, since Hamashiach. Can you continue? Verse 2. This is well. Is somebody saying something? Nah. All right. This is Genesis 49, verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Yasharallah your father. Verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, and then defiled it, thou it. He went up to my couch. Verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. We can start right there. We can start right there. So Reuben, one of he was Jacob's firstborn son. That's where his strength came from. That was his firstborn. And so, but because of what he did to Bilhah, we can read about what he did with her. He lied with her. He lied with his father's wife, or her handmaid. And Genesis 35 and 22, we read about that. But because of that, he was cursed. You read in, can you read verse 4 again? Genesis 49 and 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wouldst up down as father's business. See, it says, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. So we know that the Seminole Indians that are in the southern part of America, so like Florida and the neighboring states, those would be considered the Reubenites. Even Seminole means runaway or wild or translate. So this means they were always on the move. They were never to be able to settle down and actually build, because they were always on the run from the Spaniards that were coming in to try to kill them, and also the Americans after them. That's why it says in verse 4, they were unstable as water. Thou shalt not have said. They were unstable. They weren't able to ever get their stuff together. Continue. With verse 5. It's Genesis chapter 49, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor. Be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down the well. They dig down the wall, and in their self-will they dig down the wall. Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob
and scattered them in Yasharallah.
So right there. So now it's touching up on Simeon and Levi. And the first thing that talks about them is their instruments of, it says, instruments of cruelty. So we know that in Haiti and Dominican Republic, that they both practiced witchcraft. They both, on Haiti, they practiced voodoo, and in DR, they practiced Santeria. So these are the instruments of cruelty that they both practice in their habitation. Also, it shows that they're both in the same habitation. They're both going to be in the same spot together. But even though they're together, in verse 6 it says, "O my soul, come not thou into secret into their assembly." So even though they're together at the same habitation, they're not going to be united. They're not going to come together. And so that's why there's always basically like a civil war in the island, because the Haitians and the Dominicans could never get along. They're always at war. They're always fighting each other. That's why they could never get together. And the reason why this curse is upon them is because when they were together, they, out of vengeance, they destroyed the whole city because of what they did to Dinah. So that's why that curse was upon them, so they won't get together. Another way that they're divided is because Yahweh allowed it so that one half of the island got taken over by the French and the other half was taken over by the Spanish. And so even their languages keeps them divided, because one speaks Creole and one speaks Spanish. So this is that divide that Yahweh is using to keep them separate, even though they're in the same habitation. We can continue.
This is Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
So I'll give you
also, okay. Genesis 49:8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him gathering of the people. Shall the gathering of the people be? Vine is full unto the vine, and his ass is colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Sorry, there. Now we're going into the blessings of Judah. So now we see that Judah is given the scepter. Judah is also going to be known today on the Western Hemisphere. All these, by the way, what I'm mentioning when I say like Reuben would be the Seminoles and Levi would be the Haitians and Simeon the Dominicans. This is just really on the Western Hemisphere, the Western side of the world. Obviously, all 12 tribes is going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. But these are the identifier factors that we can determine who Israel on this side of the world. And so as far as Judah is going to be the so-called Black man America, the so-called African American. We know this because right here it says so again, trying to find it real quick. Verse 8. No, just the beginning. Yeah, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Fine. So Judah's going to be the one in control. Judah's going to be the one that all the other nations and even the other tribes look up to. He's going to be the leader. He's going to be the one in charge. He's going to be the one ruling things. And that's the so-called Black man in America today. And as we go down the example, like even Judah, the man, he was a leader. We go to Genesis 43 and 8. You can go to that from your heart.
You said 43 and what?
Verses 8, or verse 8 and 9.
This is Genesis 43 and 8. And Judah said unto Israel his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little one. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever.
So this is just an example of Judah stepping up and being a leader and taking that responsibility role. But also, it goes to Judah as a lion. Judah is a lion's whelp. Going back to the Torah portion, it says he's a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion. And so this shows that like the Black man in America, he has that strength. He has that potential. He has that power as a lion. We see examples of that and like the quote unquote BLM rally and things of that nature. We see how much impact and much power that he has, but because of his disobedience, his lack of discipline and things of that nature, he needs somebody to help rise him back up. He needs us to help wake him back up so he can actually spring back into action. And also when we go to the end of when it's talking about Judah, it goes into talking about Hamashiach. And verse 10, can you read verse 10 again for me?
It's Genesis 49 and 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
So see, even when Shiloh comes, Shiloh is another word for Messiah or Hamashiach. So until Hamashiach comes back, even until Hamashiach comes, the scepter is still going to be in Judah. And he's going to gather his people. So this is talking about the him, is talking about Hamashiach. When Hamashiach returns and gather us together. Can you continue about the show?
With 11. I'm going over the
11 and 12.
Genesis 49 and 11. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
This is talking directly about Hamashiach, because we can read about it in Revelation chapter 19, verses 11 through 15. You pull that from the show. Revelation chapter 19, 11 through 15.
This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written, that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in the blood. And his name is called the Word of Allah. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God.
So we see here, this is talk about Hamashiach, and it just goes into the vision for John C, talking about how he has the red eyes, same thing as in Genesis, how he has the red eyes with his eyes are the flames of fire. So you have the red eyes, and also talks about his garment and how it was dipped in blood, and as he had treaded the winepress. So when it was talking about Judah, it's also talking about one of his blessings is his bloodline going to carry the Messiah, Hamashiach. We can go back to the Torah portion now.
It says Genesis 49:13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships. His border shall be unto Zidon.
God. So in the land, Zebulun's border was to Zidon, and it was on the coast. So like I put exactly, let's see real quick. Fuck it. I was just trying to find out exactly the coast that was in the land that they bordered. It just borders the Mediterranean Sea. You know, it was also a safe haven of ships at the time. A bunch of ships would dock there, and they would sell merchandise. But also today, in the last days, this is referring to the Panama Canal. This is referring to that because the Panama Canal is the haven of ships today, and it's the most traction of ships in the world right now, carrying supplies and resources throughout the whole world. This has the most traction of ships throughout the whole world. It's a canal, basically it was a man-made canal carved through Panama to go through the Atlantic Ocean. You see exactly. It was kind of sloppy. It was a canal connecting the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean together. So they didn't have to go all the way around. And so the people that are dwelling there are going to be Central Americans. So from everywhere from Guatemala until Panama, basically the ancient Mayans, all those descendants, those are going to be the Zebulonites today. Can you continue, Bible Show?
This is Genesis 49:14. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
So now we're going to go to Issachar. Issachar is going to be represented as a donkey, is because the reason why they're going to be represented as a donkey is because of their good work ethics. And the two burdens it's referring to is going to be America and Mexico. So it says that the ass is going to be crouching down between two burdens. It's going to be crouching down and going back and forth between America and Mexico just to find work. That's the burden that they have to go through. They have to go through the burden of getting across the border to find work and returning the money back to their family. That's the burden that they're going to have to go through. And the Issacharites are going to be called the so-called Mexicans. They're going to be the so-called Mexicans, and kind of the Aztec descent. Basically, the Aztecs and their descendants, they're going to be called the Issacharites. Continue.
Genesis 49:16. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. I have waited for thy salvation, O Yahweh.
So Dan is also going to be a part of the 12 tribes. Dan is going to be a fewer numbers, but he's still there. People will refer to them as the red and black Caribbeans. And the prophecy goes, they're going to be laying low. They're going to be tucked away until time comes. They're going to be that snake on that path that waits to strike. So that's why right now they're pretty much kind of hard to determine exactly who Dan is today, but they're going to be tucked away. But when that time comes, they're going to strike. I can continue.
Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Gad is going to be the so-called Native Americans, and the troop that overtook them was Spain and the Americans. Pretty much everybody that kind of took over their land, coming from Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims colonizing the quote-unquote New England, that portion of America now, and kind of sweeping them and forcing them to the western side of America. So that's the troop that came and overtook them. But it also says that their blessing is that they're going to overcome at the last days. They're going to overcome in the end. Okay. And also, we know that God is in Native Americans because they were a troop. Native Americans are also known for their weaponry and the guerrilla warfare that they used to the Americans when they got here. They would use slingshots and bow and arrows and use the terrain to hide and pop out. So that's why we know that they're the troops. You can continue about the show.
Genesis 49:20. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainty.
So Asher is going to be from the country of Colombia to Uruguay. Basically the indigenous people of that land and the ancestor of the Inca tribes. So at the time, so this is talking about so from those countries I just named off, the Amazon rainforest runs through there. And so their land is very fruitful and very rich. Everything is rich over there. So even their food is very
organic and healthy, and everything was very prosperous over there in that land. And that was the blessing that they got. You continue about the show.
Genesis 49:21. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words, Lakia.
God. Because Naphtali, those are going to be from Argentina to Chile. Those are going to be the people that are in South America. They're actually known for having, like, out of the 12 tribes to speak the fastest. That's why I said I let me. They speak the fastest, and their words are kind. And they're very, as a people, they're very hospitable. They're very hospitable, and they give good words. So if you go down there, they'll give you a room to sleep in. They'll give you some food. They might give you one of their daughters. They're very hospitable and kind people. So this is how we determine who they are. So continue about with the show.
Genesis 49:22. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him. A shot has sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohiah of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Verse 25. Even by the Elohiah of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Verse 27.
So this is talking about Joseph and his children. Maybe we'll be talking about Ephraim and Manasseh. And if we go back to the top, we're speaking about Joseph, verse 22. Can you read verse 22 again, Dr. Michelle?
Verse 22 says, Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a well. The branches run over the wall.
So Joseph's children are going to be a very fruitful people, too much to the point where their vines are hanging over the wall. And so this is why the population of Ephraim and Manasseh. So Ephraim would be so-called Puerto Ricans, and Manasseh is going to be called the Cubans, right? Today. That's what we call them today in the Western Hemisphere. And they both have very small islands, and the population of those islands is so compact. That's why they're traveling to places like the U.S. and other places around the world, because the population is so dense there that their vines are hanging over the wall. They really can't even live there. Like, I went to Puerto Rico, and population is huge, and everybody's pretty much side by side, outside, everything. So this is one of the determining factors why we come to these conclusions. Okay, I gotta continue, Chef, of the Torah portion.
Genesis 49:27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
God. Talking about Benjamin. Let me pull it up. The Benjamins today would be considered in the Western Hemisphere Jamaicans in the West Indies. And they're kind of known for their short tempers, and that's why they call raven as wolves, and also because of their music and how they sing about the oppression that they receive and the God's people receive.
and they know that they're Yasharala. Most of them, the people that follow Rastafarian, they know that they're Yasharala, and they know the history, but they also go off into idolatry and follow Rastafarian and all these false teachers and false prophets like Haile Selassie. And God, and also it talks about they devour the prey and divide the spoils. The Maroons, that's the name of the people in Jamaica and the West Indies. They would take over slave ships and keep the spoils and return the slave ships back to the island. So that's what they would do. So they would literally come over, take the whole ship, take the spoils, and then still return the ships back to the dock. So that's what we're talking about, devouring the prey and dividing the spoils. God, I continue on with the show.
Genesis 49 and 28. All these are the 12 tribes of Yasharala, and this is it that their father spake unto them and blessed them. Every one according to his blessing, he blessed them. And he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for possession. Verse 31. There they bury Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they bury Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The persons of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. Verse 33. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed and yielded up the ghost, and was gathered unto his people. Kala Shirah, Bar Yahweh, not Ashah, will not Shema. Other Yahweh has said what we doing here.
So at the end of this chapter, we see that Yaakov, Jacob, he's about to give us the ghost. And so he's giving all, at the end, he's telling them where to bury him. He's telling them to bury him in the cave that's in the field of Mamre. That's in the field of Machpelah, before Mamre. But this whole chapter is pretty much about Jacob, before he passes away, blessing all of his children, or basically giving them the prophecy of what's going to happen to them in the last days. Some were blessings, some were curses. Out of all these, we use these to determine which. So we know who's Yasharala based off the other verses, but now determining which tribe of Yasharala they pertain to, these are how we determine those. Does anybody have any questions about chapter 49? No questions, we can continue.
Starting at Genesis chapter 50 and verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die, in my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. And Pharaoh said, "Go up and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear." And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house. Only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went out with him.
So we see here that after Yaakov passed away, Joseph, he involved in, he basically preserved, he did Egyptian practice to preserve his body for burial. So that's what he did. And then also after he involved them, he asked Pharaoh permission to go back into the land of Mamre to bury his father. And Pharaoh gave him permission. He said, "Come, you can go bury your father." And he also, when Joseph went, he took all these men with him. He took pretty much all of Pharaoh's servants, all the elders of the houses, and everybody pretty much with him. So he had a big entourage with him when he went to go to Mamre to bury Yaakov. Continue over the show.
Genesis 50, verse 9. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan. And there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians." Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mazraim, which is beyond Jordan. Genesis 50 and 12. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, "Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him." And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, "Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren and their sin. For they did unto thee evil, and now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of Allahiah of thy father." And Joseph wept when they spake unto him.
Yeah. Okay. So we see so far that that when the entourage of Joseph and all the sons of Israel came to bury him, they stopped at a time, and they were mourning for 7 days there. And when the Canaanites, when they came by and they saw them there, they named the land Abel Mizraim, and that just means meadow of Egypt. They saw the mourning there, so they just named that place after them. Because from what their perception was, it was just a bunch of Egyptians. They probably didn't even know they probably didn't even know Joshua was there, so they just named it Meadow of Egypt. Also, we see that after they actually buried him, that everybody else other than Yahusap thought that Yahusap was going to turn on them, because after their father died, they thought he was still holding a grudge, and then afterwards that he's going to seek out vengeance because of the things that they done. The things that they done was so Joseph into Egypt in the first place. So they were kind of fearful. And they told him, they're like, hey, our father told you to forgive us. They kind of pretty much made that up. It's like, we're just going to say that Yahshua told them to forgive, told you to forgive us for the things you've done. And yeah, can you read verse 16 again, Bible Michelle? And then I'll just continue.
Genesis 50. Genesis 50 and 15. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us of all the evil which we did unto him. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of servants of the Allahiyah of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him.
Can you read
Verse 18. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we be thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of Allahiyah? But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but Allahiyah meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore, fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spake kindly unto them. Verse 22, Genesis 50 and 22. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw...
So basically what's happening so far after everybody besides Joseph, all the other sons of Israel, they sent the messenger to Joseph asking him to forgive him. And then once he heard the message, Joseph started breaking down and started crying because he can't hold a grudge. He can only forgive him because of the position that he's in now. Because at this point, he's next in line to Pharaoh. Yahweh blessed him and put him in this position to bless other people through the wickedness that his brother's trying to do to him. So that's why, in verse 19 it says, And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for I am in the place of God. Question mark. Like, am I not in the place of God? Did not Yahweh put me in this place? Am I not in good standing with Yahweh? Yahweh allowed this to happen so I can bless people, so I can take care of you guys. Now, because you guys living in Egypt, I can provide all this stuff for you guys. So he didn't hold a grudge and he forgave his brothers. Can you read verse 22 again, Brother Bishop? Before we continue, did anybody have any questions so far about chapter 50? We continue, Brother Bishop.
Genesis 50 and 22. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation, the children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Allahiyah will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Salakia. Verse 25, and Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Call out Shirah, the Bar Yahweh, not Ashah, will not Shema. All that Yahweh has said, what we doing here?
And at the end, we can see that when Joseph, when he was about to die, they embalmed him. They embalmed him to the same Egyptian practice how they preserve bodies for burial. And he also asked his brother to remove him and bury him where his fathers was as well. And so, but at the time, he was embalmed and he was put in the coffin. He was still in Egypt at this point. Anybody have any questions about the Torah portion before we move on to anything else? You can go back to any other chapters you guys had questions about if you didn't get to them.
Khan, Shalom, I have a question. Khan Tawada. I was hoping that maybe later, like maybe not after, well, yeah, after we do the reading, like if I don't if we can if you specifically could look at or bring out some stuff from other places to kind of like give us more of a feel to it, or if we could just expound on it more, just so we can kind of stretch the understanding some more. I really like what I'm hearing, and I want to learn more. I yield the floor. Tawada, thank you.
Yeah, we can continue to talk about it after class. Anybody else have any other questions before we move on? All right, we're going to move into the prophets portion. It's going to be 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. First Kings chapter 2 and verse 1.
Let me know when you're ready. This is 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die. He charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of Yahweh, thy Elohim, or Yahweh Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, to walk in his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moshe, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself, that Yahweh may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart, with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. Moreover,
Basically, this is what God, you in his last days, he about to get into this as well. And before that, he talked to Solomon. He's telling him that he must call Yahweh walk out you commandments. He says, God's read verse 2 again. It says, to keep the charge of Yahweh to walk in his ways and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest. So that's what the promise is. You're going to prosper at everything you do. And talking about 50 concerning the wise. Can we read verse 4 again, Bible Shah?
Verse Kings 2 and 4. That Yahweh may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel.
If you do Yahweh's commandments, then you're not going to fail in anything that you do. And so this is what he's telling to Solomon. And so that he's telling Solomon that so he doesn't go off, so he can still be a righteous king and lead the people in righteousness. Anybody with the show?
Verse 5. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, and to Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his forehead go down to the grave in peace. But show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai, the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table. For so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei, the son of Gera, a Benjamite of Bahiram, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swore to him by Yahweh, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his forehead bring thou down to the grave of blood. For David slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David. In the days that David reigned over Yasharallah for 40 years, 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
So this, the way how this connects to the Torah portion is because this is talking about Judah and talking about how the scepter wouldn't leave from Judah and how it was given to the Wad and now how he's going to pass it down to his son and so on and so forth. I had a couple of questions for listeners. And so what was going down to it? What was the things that Joab did to the Wad? In verse 5, it says, moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel. What was the things that Joab did to Joab. Joab was
Did he?
like
I'm sorry. Did he kill Absalom?
trying to kill Absalom.
No, that was all. He killed him and he asked him not to. King David asked him not to kill him. That was all.
It's because of out of vengeance that he like couldn't control himself, so he killed him. So these are things that goes into it as well. Goes into it. So you just get continue to read verse 3. Verse 5. Can you read verse 5 again, Bible Show?
So like you said, verse 5 again. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Yasharallah, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet.
One more verse.
Do therefore according to
verse 6.
Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his forehead go down to the grave in peace.
So that's what Joab told that you have to do, not let him go down in peace to give him righteous judgment for the things that he's done. Anybody have any questions on this chapter? See how it correlates with the Torah portion? No question. We can continue to the gospel portion, and I'm pretty sure we can still build after class. After the gospel portion is read and broken down, we can can still stay on the call and we can go over some more things, bring out some more sources to prove the claims. But we can go to the gospel portion is going to be John chapter 13 and 1.
Let me know when you're ready.
This is John chapter 13 and verse 1. I'm ready. John, ready.
This is John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, Yahushua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father. Having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. The supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Yahushua, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from Allahia and went to Allahia, he rises from supper and laid aside his garments, and took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Verse 6. Then cometh he, Simon Peter, and Peter said unto him, Adawan, dost thou wash my feet? Yahushua answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. Peter said unto him, Thou shalt never wash my feet. Yahushua answered him, If I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. Simon Peter saith unto him, Adawan, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Yahushua said to him, He that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. Ye are clean, but not all. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean. But after he had washed their feet, and had taken his garment, and was set down again, and he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Verse 13. You call me master, not a one. Ye say well, for so I am. If I then, your Adawan and master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. If I speak not of you all, I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eats bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it is come to pass, you may believe that I am he. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
John. So as we go into this, we can see how Mashiach is going to wash the disciples' feet. And it's all basically like a spiritual message. Because even after, well, this is an example to show how we're supposed to be a service to our own people, like a service to our brother. Like, because the king or the master, he's really supposed to be a servant to the people, just like how Mashal was. Even though Mashal was in charge and ruling people, he was still a service to the people. So this is an example that Christ used for us to, well, this is an example that Christ gave to us to use to show that how we're supposed to be servants to each other.
Right.
Another example was, even though he washed all their feet, he still told them that some of you weren't clean. That's talking about spiritually, because he knew that Judas would betray him. So even though they were physically clean, they weren't all spiritually clean. We can go back into so like if we go back into verse 11, continue on down.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
This is John 13 and 11. For he knew who should betray him. Therefore said he, Ye are not all clean.
Other thing, you can keep on going.
So after he had washed their feet and had taken his garment and was set down again, he said unto them, Know ye what I have done to you? Ye call me master, and Adawan, and ye say, Well, for so I am. If I then, your Adawan and master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that ye should do as I have done to you. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither that is sent greater than he that sent him. If ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them. I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen, that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me have lifted up his heel against me. Now I tell you before it comes, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he.
Yeah. And that he is referring to talking about he is a Mashiach, he is a savior, he is the son of God. He's gonna bring us out of captivity. And that's why he said if you receive him, then you receive in that sentence. And so this is all going back to the fourth portion as well. When because he said he knows who he has chosen. Going back to the third portion, we talked about Judah. Let's go back to it actually real quick. Genesis 29. I mean Genesis 49. So 49 and 10. We can start there. And the steps, I don't make for everybody real quick. John says, and the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and he, and unto him shall the gathered of the people be. So that's Hamashiach knows. Hamashiach knows who his people are, and he's going to gather them. But if you don't accept him, then you don't. If you don't accept him, you don't accept Yahweh, because you can't. If you don't accept the messenger, then you won't accept the person that sent the messenger. Anybody have any questions on that?
Hey, Salak, I apologize. I know that was a long pause. I was trying to get to my phone. So I have a question. So, family or friends, they're like, my cousin, just now coming into the truth. You feel me? Like they've been accepting Jesus to 100%. You know what I'm talking about? But kind of hearing this is like a little bit different. So, I mean, what's the difference in accepting this and accepting what I already know? I yield the floor.
He said, what was the very end of that?
What's the difference? My bad. I'm sorry. What's the difference in accepting like this? Like, cause you say if we don't accept Jesus, then we're something. But what's the difference in accepting this and accepting what I already know? Like, you know what I mean?
No, what was the already know part? Like, what was that? What would that be?
What I grew up on. You're saying like I grew up on the Lord. So what's the difference in this and understanding what I already know?
Because
I yield.
we control the words. So I'm pulling up the verse right now. But basically, a Mashiach is telling us, I'm paraphrasing there, paraphrasing, but he was saying that you guys call me master. Like, how could you guys call me a master but not do what I said? So how could you pretty much accept him if you don't do as he says? And what he tells us to do would be to keep the commandments and basically kind of like the opposite of what mainstream Christianity teaches. And so I would just say that they have like a misconstrued version or a misunderstanding of what he was trying to teach, especially if they're zealous and actually are looking for the truth. I'll just say that they have to let the Holy Spirit work through them and allow them to find, the truth.
Water.
Anybody else have any questions? God, I found the verse. It was chapter 6, 46. It says, this is the KJV. It says, and they call ye Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say. You know, that was a question. He's like, why are they calling me Lord, Lord, but they're not doing what I say? Like, how does that make sense? So, so that'll be concluding the Torah portion for today. But before anybody hop off, I invite everybody to stick around and continue to build with us. We could talk about other things, other topics, going more in depth to the Torah portion, bringing out the sources and stuff like that. I yield the floor.
I just wanted to say, the water. Thank you. I just want to say, forgive me. I just want to say, the water. Thank you for the class and for bringing out the scriptures. I'll yield the floor.
Is there anything in particular that you wanted to bring out or talk about?
Well, not so much that I wanted to talk about or bring out, but I like listening to this narrative because it's so good. This history, because it's this antiquity, because it's so good. And going through issues with friends and family and seeing how Yahweh, he has the last say. So really, really helps me. I'm gonna say I'm disappointed in myself because I read, Joseph, like the Testament of Joseph, and then like this week's Torah portion came up. It's like, man, how good did he do? Because I consider Joseph to be our uncle. So how good did he do on his character, his stance and demeanor? It's like, man, like I went and looked at not only the Testament of Joseph, I went and looked at Josephus, we went and looked at Josh, and all three accounts really helped with learning this week's Torah portion too. So it just helped me, and I appreciate you reading. I yield the floor.
Now, the water Shadad bringing out and reading for us. The water. Well, you have. What was some of the things you was bringing out in the testimony of what's
up? His character, his demeanor, his behavior, how he was a baby boy, but how his decision making and his desire for the spirit of wisdom and virginity was more important than other things around him. Like even how much he cried and and like he even got upset. And some people think maybe Joseph didn't get upset, but he did. And because of his good character and his decision making, it really helped me. Like it really helped me because it helped me to see, the difference between good decision making and bad decision making whenever we're going through a test or a trial. And I could say I probably did maybe 30%, if 20% of how good our uncle Joseph did. So I really look at the story, the narrative. Like we learn these stories, and then after we learn the stories, it's like well, let's learn the characters of the stories. So Joseph was a virgin for a very long time. He was pure. He was set apart. And in the end, the Most High gave him beautiful, prosperous, children and a rib that was holy and that was a virgin. And his main theme was to forgive and to put wisdom first. And that's just something I had seen. So I started at Jasher chapter, I think 42, and went up to about 57. That's just because this is where we were with the Torah portion. And it's just been really helpful, man. It's been a cold cut because I got to see how off, no matter how much you know something, if you don't like even apply the little details, you really have to ask yourself, did I pass that test? For next time coming up, even if I'm still alive, will I have the chance to to do that test over or what? So this Joseph's teaching has been very helpful. Not just for self-reflection, but also looking at other people too. We have villains in here, you know. So, anywho, I yield the floor. I just, I don't want to talk too much. I really appreciate you and Shaddad bringing out the scriptures. Even David, this week saying, if you want to prove yourself to be a man, you ain't say prove yourself to be a man by your body shape or by your money or how much stuff you have. It's prove yourself to be a man, by keeping the law of Yahweh. And that's fire. So, can we read that again? Can we read that again? And then I yield the floor because I'm still learning. I'm still growing up, so I'm enjoying being a baby all over. I yield the floor. Thwada.
Count is 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, now the days of Dawad drew nigh that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of Yahweh the Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Mashah, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to read it so I can speak. I just wanted to listen. That scripture really hit me. It was just really,
Okay.
yeah, Khan. Will you break it down for me, please?
No, it was just pretty much exactly how you were saying before. It's like the Wad was preparing his son and showing him how to be a man and how to walk upright and how to lead a people, because after he was gone, he was going to sit on the throne. And he didn't want Solomon to go off. And so he said, if you want to prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever thou turnest thyself, and if you go down to the next one, it says that Yahweh may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to this way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, they shall not fail thee. That he a man of the throne of Israel. So he was just telling them a bulletproof way how to not fail and how to be a righteous king and how to be a man is by keeping law, statutes, and commandments. Another thing I wanted to touch on was like the character traits of Joseph, and how even though at first you might come to wrath, but he also Yahweh softened his heart and gave him a forgiving spirit. It was to the point where everyone else, all the other tribes members, they thought that for sure that he was still going to be angry because of how dirty he did them, that they did him. They sold him off to Egypt. So even after decades, 50 plus years, they thought he was still holding on to that grudge, and he was waiting on after his father to pass away that he was going to seek out that vengeance. But after, first of all, they were so afraid that they sent a messenger to talk to him. And even after that, once Joseph heard it, he started to weep. He started to break down crying because it's like he forgave him, and he doesn't want them to think that he had vengeance for them, or he had anger towards them. And he pretty much just was thankful for Yahweh to allow him to be in a position to take care of his family now. The same people that sold him into slavery, he just thanks Yahweh for allowing him to bless him because those are his brothers. Those are people he kind of grew up with. And those are the people that he loved. So it was just crazy how Yahweh picked that forgiving spirit in him.
Yeah, Con, that's fire. And I had seen too that, like, when you said they went to him, like they sent the messenger, and even with him, like he started crying, like he lifted up his voice crying, like, man, you know, what do you think that was about? Why do you think he lifted up his voice? Why I say that?
Your thought? You said why do I think he started crying?
Yeah, Con, when they sent the messenger, why it says he lifted up his voice and he wept or he started crying? Why do you think that?
Because he realized that his brothers were so terrified they didn't want to see him in person because they thought he was going to kill him. He's like, y'all pretty much was like, they really got afraid of me. And I just love them so much that I want to do nothing for the best of them. And he was kind of like, not about that, how fearful they were of him. Because at the time, Yahweh, he had all the power in the world pretty much. He had so much authority in Egypt, he could have got them done in like 2 seconds. Could have put them in like 2 seconds. But that's why. What do you think?
I think he was like, man, y'all still faulty. Y'all still think like this about me. You feel me? I think it was 17 years that Joseph or Jacob came into the land after 17 years of Joseph being sold off by his brothers and then living in Egypt for those years. And then after that, him finally looking at his brethren and everybody and his Abba, bringing his Abba to him. And then after his Abba living in the land, and all praise the Most High, man. My Amma's a Quan, man. She gave me this jewel, that Joseph, he parted off when he was 17. He was, sold off for slavery in 17. And then the Most High gave him 17 more years with him because that's how long Jacob lived in Egypt. But I think he went off and wept to himself just because, his brothers were still alive. The Egyptians or the Mizraimites or the Hamites, they didn't start to mistreat us until all of the 12 tribe patriarchs, until after they died. So for Abba to just die, we had this reunion. Now Abba gone, and y'all send some nobody. Not trying to be funny, but you send this civilian to come and give me a message about me doing you wrong. I think it hurt him. I think it hurt because he was, he was as good as he could be, but he was still being perceived wrong. I yield.
Mm-hmm. I know we was going over Genesis 49. Did you have any additional input that you want to give on Genesis 49?
No, I don't want to.
There's probably some.
Yeah, my bad. I think that you did such an excellent job. What I wanted to do was I wanted to pull up the screen share and pull up, scriptures and just go as fast as you was going, but I couldn't do it, and it was too messy, and I was making clicking sounds, and I was like, you know what? I just put it on a really nice, comfortable screen to listen to you read the scriptures to. I just think that in the future, preferably, that whoever teaches when it comes to Genesis 49, 9 should have a visual presentation ready if possible, you know, because we can hear it and I hear you. And I understand it when you say it. I understood it also. I understand you when I say it. I understood it also, you know, like I've seen the pictures, you know, so I don't have anything to add. What I want to suggest is that, you know, if you, you know, are more interested and this makes sense to you, you know, call Gabar, hit him up on Facebook, ask him questions, you know, sharpen yourself. You know, the same stance he has is the same stance I have. For these reasons and for these scriptures, we, you know, this is what we've seen to be the 12 tribes of Israel, even more so than what we know. Not solidifying and saying this is it, that's all, because Gabar spoke for itself. You know, we're scattered into the north, south, central, and the interior Africa. The ones that's on this western hemisphere, when you read these prophecies, you look and listen to what Gabar said, and you know, these are the same things that the scripture says. So, you know, the Panama Canal, that's not a small thing. You know, the children of Issachar being burdened between two, you know, between two burdens, you know, so-called Mexico and America, that's a real thing. You know, breaking down Issachar is one of my favorites, even more so than Judah sometimes. To me, you can't make this stuff up. You know, you got a little man, little Mexican man with a mustache and a sombrero leaning against a donkey, you know, with a cactus and an eagle and a snake in the background. It's like, man, all of these symbols mean something. You know, the eagle and the snake that you'll see on the Mexican flag is a representation of Moses. Yeah, it's a representation of Moses. So everything that, you know, I would say what Gabar.
You talked about the that you were talking about the serpent with the wings.
No, sir. No, sir. Not this time. Not on that one. No. On the flag, as far as the Issacharite so-called Mexican flag, Mexico flag, there's a it's red, white, and green. All right, and one of those the logo is an eagle with a viper, a serpent in its mouth. Okay, and if anybody's interested in that, you can find that narrative. What you would have to do in order to find that is ask yourself, what did Moses do after Moses left Egypt for defending his brother from being beat by the police? You know, where did Moses go? What wars did Moses entertain? You know, where did Moses live? Where can I find birds and serpents? You know, is there anything? Is there anywhere? So that's something I have found that I didn't find anything. That was something the Most High had revealed. Deuteronomy 29:29, the secret things belong to the Most High, but those things which are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may keep all the words of His law and do them. So that's what Yahweh had revealed, you know. And then, just looking at Genesis chapter 49 in itself, you know, even with the tribe of Dan, you know, being considered to be the brown and the red Caribs, you know, who will be revealed in the latter days, you know. It's amazing to me that Dan, you know, were Navy men. And they were in the ships, they were in the waters, they were in the oceans, they sailed the world. And you look today, and the ocean is one of the biggest, scariest places in the world outside from space, in my opinion. You know, I'd rather go into the heart of the most deadly hood in the world than to go into the heart of the ocean. So, yeah, come on. So we have things like UFOs or chariots, or they call them AEPs today, aerial something phenomenal. Anyway, aerial flying phenomenon, something like that phenomenon. But the point of saying, as I say, the majority of UFOs really don't come from outer space; they come from underwater, from what people are starting to see now, which I can't say where they come from. But a lot of sightings happen in water, along with Second Ezra chapter 15, Christ coming back. You know how he came out of the sea. I thought that was interesting, but I know the word sea can mean heavens or it means waters. The point of saying that is to say this: the tribe of Dan and himself being Navy men and always down to the sea, and these, you know, antiquitous stories of lights and crafts and monsters out in the ocean. Dan had to see more things than we could imagine. So when we look in the so-called New Testament or the prophecies, you know, and there's this mystery around Dan. You know, I don't think that's a divisive point for anybody to say, well, you don't know. Because there's a lot that we don't know. You know, what we do know is that the Most High did something special with Dan, and that there are, I don't want to say too much of my thoughts, but there are, you know, I believe in UFOs, chariots. I believe that they're connected deeply with the Bible, and I believe that has a part to play in not only the sea life, you know, the ocean life, but maybe we'll have something we can do with something greater in the last days. You know? So Genesis chapter 49 for me, King, is super helpful because it helps us to see, you know, like the tribe of Zebulon. I had the blessing of living with Zebulon. I had the blessing of living with the Aztecas, the Mayans, who knew that they were still Mayans today. So when you said that, I'm like, man, I'm trying to pull up all this stuff. And, you know, so, you know, I encourage everybody, just go deeper. You know, Babar gave you the tools. He gave us the stuff we needed today to look at the Genesis chapter 49. There's so much information out there. So, you know, I do stand. I'm from the tribe of Judah, from the tribe of Gad, by way of my father and mother. So these are two of the Israelite tribes that I can look back and say, well, hey, I can not only relate to this, but I can say, wait, my father, my mother actually go back to this. Then I would encourage everybody, just like Jacob left letters for his children, which is Genesis chapter 49, each one of his children did the same thing. So if we just read the prophecies that Jacob, oh, also one other thing, precept Genesis chapter 49 with Deuteronomy 33. And what these two brothers did is a lengthy reading because it's a prophecy. So Genesis chapter 49 and Deuteronomy 33 are both prophecies on what will happen to the children of Israel in the last days in a large compiled one writing from two different prophets. And then you break down and see what did the other prophets say what happened to these 12 tribes. Now that so-called 12 tribes chart makes a lot more sense to me, you know, than just saying everybody is this, everybody is that. You know, I'm looking at the prophecies, not the skin color. I'm looking at the prophecies, not the hair texture. Con. And when we see that Jacob had Negro featured son and he had Indian featured son, I can see that all day. The bar don't look like a Negro. He looks like an Indian. You know, just put him on some different clothes and let him speak a language you don't understand and let him stare at you with a blank expression. You'd be like, this is not a Negro. So because of our characteristics, we think that we know, but we got to look at prophecies. The Father reveals things to us. So I yield the floor, man. It was a great teaching, Genesis 49. All right, if you like Genesis 49, precept with Deuteronomy 33. If that really tickled your fancy, go for the extra credit and study the Testament of the Patriarchs. If you're from Gad, study, see what Gad say. If you're from Judah, study, see what Judah say. If you're from Reuben, see what Reuben say. If you're from Levi, see what Levi say. You know, and if you want to understand your friends and families, study all 12 of the Testament of the Patriarchs. So when you get around a Naphtali, you can be like, oh yeah, y'all cool, but when y'all flip out, y'all really do be kicking like a daggone deer trying to get out of a trap. They don't care who they hit. They just deers. They just start kicking and flopping around so they can run off and be like, leave me alone. You feel me? So Shalom Yedadiah Yashala that's watching on YouTube. The brother said, Khan, Shalom, Barakatah, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Roach, Chodash. It's so beautiful to be able to read in Paleo Hebrew. We don't need none of these heathens, anything. We don't need their vowel points. We don't need nothing. You just look up. I just read a whole sentence prayer. And hey, Shalom, Yedadiah. Good to see you again. So it's easy to see with the 12 tribes, you know, and there's so many people that want to agree or disagree, and that's going to happen until Hamashiach comes. All right, that's going to happen until the Messiah comes. So I salute you and I commend you, brothers, for being bold and being brave and for not being indifferent. You brothers have a stance, and you're taking your stance. You know, I'd rather rock with somebody like that than somebody that be like, you know what, I don't want to know and I don't want to offend nobody, so I just ain't gonna say nothing. I can't depend on them. So I'd rather, you know, you take a chance and say, hey, look, this is what I see. Boom, this is where we at. And you brothers are the excellent y'all bring out. Thank you for answering my questions too. All right, with that, I yield the floor.
So I yield the floor as well. Anybody else have anything to bring out? With that being said, the audio help, everybody's coming on and joining the call. Water for Shaddad is coming out and reading for us. Say, Shalom, Yabrakam, Yabashim, Yabasha, Shalom.
Yabrakaya Bashem Yashai. Shalom. Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yashai Yashai. Brakatham. Shalom. Shalom, y'all. Shalom. Shalom. The water. Hey, keep studying, everybody. Go back and look deeper. You might find some more. You feel me? You always will. It never fails. Keep studying. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. If anybody needs you, man, call. If anybody needs me, man, call Gabar. Everybody call Gabar's phone number at the same time. Okay, on the count of 3, everybody call Gabar's phone at the same time. Oh, you still up? Okay. All right. Shabbat Shalom. I'm just hanging out till everybody hangs up, unless anybody has a question. All right. Shabbat Shalom.
Yo, it's Brother Sadar. I was just wondering, what your opinion was about this coming up calendar, as far as the I don't know exactly what it's called, but people thinking it's a extra month or not.
Oh, is that something that we got going on right now in Yasharala?
Just because of the what's it called? I don't know the exact words, but the constellations and whatnot.
The what again? The constellations? What's going on with the constellations, man? I've been out of the loop. I'm just now unpacking my bags from the Isle of Patmos. I think I'm actually supposed to still be there, but I don't know. I just kind of jumped off the island and started swimming. But so what's going on with the constellations?
I'm trying to remember what it is. It's something every 3 years, basically. So they think that it's
is it a leap or anything like that?
Something similar, but let me look.
Okay, Khan. Yeah.
A lot of people are believing that it's going to be an extra 12 months.
An extra 12 months. Okay. Well, I have some information that I can read and share on that. If anybody be interested. So I think I do. I think we might, I know this, that the Most High doesn't leave anything unanswered. He doesn't leave anything unanswered. It might take some, some work, but I mean, we can find an answer to anything. So I want to know, so we're not talking about a leap year. So what are we talking about? What is Yasharala? So is there a discrepancy with the calendars? That's what we look at. There's always a discrepancy with the calendar. But but what is it specifically, Ak?
I'm trying to remember a name for it. But basically, I'm not gonna say it's a discrepancy, but a lot of people are under the same belief that it's going to be a second 12 month this coming up year. Let me see real quick.
Okay, so give me something to look up while we're looking. I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna put a 2023 13th month leap year calendar. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that International Fixed Calendar. International Fixed Calendar divides the year into 13 months with 28 days each. Right. I'm gonna look at this first. I'm waiting for you, my Lord. I'll wait for you to come to me. I'm learning. Soul calendar. All right. Nearly about 13 calendar. Hermetic leap. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hermetic leap week calendar. I really like to study, so this is fun. Calendar of Israel 2023. We're gonna pull that up. We're also gonna do Encyclopedia Britannica first edition astronomy. It's a lot easier to do this than going to get want to get in the book. All right. Go ahead. I'm listening, my lord. I'm just looking up stuff.
I think it's regarding to the sun or the moon being in Aries.
Well, yeah, the sun and the moon is supposed to be in Aries. What's the issue?
But I think it's just based off of. I think different people are having a hard time because we go by the new moon and great swimming stars and whatnot, but counting down to when the new moon goes back to counting down to when the new moon comes after each month. It's like, all right, where does it say that we traditionally have a 12 month within our nation, our second 12 month within our nation, and is that how we are going to determine whether the sun and the moon are in Aries as well as the Fox?
Okay. Let's see real quick. Let me pull up some. Let me try. Isidore of Seville Etymologies PDF. It said it's the door. It said it's the door etymology. That's not what I said. Let's do another one. Let's do St. John of Damascus, Orthodox Faith, book number 2, chapter 7. And I don't know if that's going to pull up, but we'll see. And then let's see another one. We're looking at Aries and Pesach. All right. Now, we already know Josephus tells us that Passover is held in the month in the constellation of Aries, correct? I'm failing to see what the concern is. Help me out, Prince. I'm pulling up information. I'm listening to you.
So I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No. I'm listening. I'm looking to see, what's the concern, because I don't get the question all the way. Like, let me ask you this: is the concern that the counting of the month, is that what it is?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at different calendars that have came out already. I see everybody is pretty much on the same accord, except our congregation. On one thing.
Come to me. All right, so I'm gonna open up I'm on my screen real quick. For those of you that can see on my screen, looks like my laptop just froze up. I think I was asking it to do too much. Give me too much information, computer. Can you handle it? All right, so the phone's not frozen. So one of my favorite books, Bible, absolutely. We're gonna read. I'm not gonna do it now. I guess I'm gonna do it on an as-needed basis. So we're gonna have a separate class for this. I would encourage anybody to get the 1776 or 1771, which that's what this is. It's Encyclopedia Britannica. It says the first. Okay, so let me see. So this is. There you go. So I know for everybody that's listening, you'll be able to hear, but those that watch on the screen. So this says Encyclopedia Britannica, volume the first. They don't even say the first edition. It says the first. All right. So as you can see, it's got that old brownish look and feel to it. I got to show everybody, and I got to speak about the Sapar before I actually talk, so we can see where our credentials are. All right. Encyclopedia Britannica, or a dictionary of arts and sciences, compiled upon new plans in which the different sciences and arts designated into distinct treatises or systems, and the various technical terms, etc., are explained as they occur in order of alphabet. All right, by the Society of Gentlemen in 3 volumes. This is volume 1. This is of the first edition. Why am I reading to you the credentials of this book? Because when people talk to me about new moon, after a minute, I'll just be like, you have no idea what you're talking about, especially if they just totally skip the fact that new moon, according to the Bible, is when the moon, the earth, and the sun are all aligned. Not when you can see a little bitty sliver. You're about 2 to 3 days too late. All right. So I got really disappointed in a lot of Israelite elders and schools because as somewhere along the line, they stopped teaching. They started repeating the same things over and over. I started hearing them say breakdowns that was totally bad. And I'm like, that's not what that means. So the only thing I could do was go to what the Most High said was ask thy fathers, and they would show thy elders, and they would tell thee. So I went back to books. So since I seen brothers wasn't, as consistent, one of my passions was to say, okay, well, when the Most High brought me into this truth, what did I do? I read the books that my elders read. All right, so I'm still tracking with you, Prince. Now, this section right here is called On Astronomy, and it's on page 434. Okay, now this book is not impossible to get. I got it pulled up online. Let me show you something. I'll show it to you personally, Shaddad, but I want to show the people on the screen first. All right. And they might say, they might have their own personal thoughts. First, I'm going to say this, Shaddad. The earth is not flat. All right. First, I'm going to say the earth is not flat. We got to say the earth is not flat. And yes, I'm showing a picture out of a book. All right. Because these actually aren't even called pictures. If you know about these types of books, they don't even call them pictures or illustrations. They say illustrations, but they actually have a different name, but I'm not going to tell you what it's called. All right. I'm going to see for those who know. All right. Now, the writing in this book is still in the 1611 King James style. Okay. It's something I feel bad about is because I don't have glasses. All right. Now, Yahweh is really good. Shaddad, I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to send it to you. I want everybody to look at this page. Take a look at that. See that? The different, what's that say? The different lengths of days and nights. Okay? When we're looking at leap years and and somebody's asking us, when does a day start? When does a night start? And I don't care. Hey, Shaddad, forgive me. Some brothers, and sisters, if they refuse to read out of other books that provide valuable information that agree with what the Bible say, not for the sake of all, I just want to agree with the Bible, but it actually says like, yo, this is the same thing. I think that those things should be taken into consideration. All right. So pertaining to the leap year and the 12th or the 13th month, what's your stance on it before I give a very short answer? And then I'm going to invite you to come over and open up this book with me. What's your understanding of a leap year, Shaddad?
I don't have one.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. And I didn't have one either. I just heard what people told me. And then I went and started reading. All right. I'm showing something on the screen, Shaddad. That's why I'm taking a long time to speak. All right. I'm showing something on the screen.
You good. I'm actually tapping in right now on YouTube.
All right. If you please do. Now, this was information I also not only asked my peers of Mashara Yasha'Allah to look at, but I asked my common peers, the ones that surround me every day. Look at this with me. Because I understand what I know, but maybe other brothers will understand more. All right. So, without reading the book, we see that the moon's orbit. Now, here goes something else. We have to learn about the moon. I mean, we asking questions, but we need the right tools to get the answer. There's another book that I have back in the library. I can go and grab it. It's just called The Moon. It's literally just called The Moon. So You got to find out which historians or which people of antiquity were in love with the moon. I just gave you a clue. All right. He was in love with the moon, certain people say. All right. So, so find out which historians and antiquities people that was into astronomy, like Benjamin Banneker. You feel me? I just told brothers, buy a farmer's almanac. I stopped listening to these guys, Shaddad. They don't study. They just repeat what each other say, Prince. And you study, you other brothers. Some of these brothers do, some of the sisters do. But this stuff is basic, Prince. We should purchase a farmer's almanac. Farmer's Almanac, the original one, was invented by Benjamin Banneker. All right. Look him up. Shaddad can give you guys all the information. Just call Shaddad's number. He'll give you all the information on Benjamin Banneker and how Benjamin Banneker wrote, how he wrote out, and what Shaddad will do will show you how Benjamin Banneker wrote out his own ephemeris. And he wrote out his own ephemeris so that he could learn how to calculate the rotation and the trajectory of the moon, so he could tell how many months and also write how far ahead the constellations would be. It's called an ephemeris. So I would encourage everybody to get started on doing that now. I was supposed to do it last year at Passover, and I didn't. I talked to the brothers about it, and I didn't do it. I was supposed to document each lunar phase right after Pesach, and I didn't do it. So delayed obedience is disobedience, right? So now I got to crunch everything, and who knows how much information I lost because I didn't do that. So the point of saying that is to say, is as the moon goes through her course, she has a constant number. All right. So how many days would you say is in a year?
365.
365. That's the common number that people know. All right. And because of the course, the elliptical of what the moon travels on, that number stays consistent. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn not only about the lunar course, the course of the moon, but we'll also learn about what happens when her rotation regularly, because this happens regularly, when her rotation is regularly longer than the normal course. Like, people around the world are shocked at it, but she's been doing it forever. All right. So there's no such thing as an extra or a leap. It's just a common number that we've been counting. Me, I'm not good at counting all like that, but I'm good at applied mathematics. I'm good at understanding trajectory. All right. So what I'll do is the same book that I encourage everybody to look at. Here, let me show you online, and I'll share the link in here so y'all get it for yourself. For those friends and family members that's close to me, I'm going to be reading it out of my own source book and then sharing it, amongst the friends and families. But if you're not around me, here, I'll give it to you for free. All right. So Shaddad, check the link. I'm about to share this PDF in here. All right. There you go. This is for Isidore of Seville's etymologies. All right. After the Shabbat, please purchase Isidore of Seville's etymologies. All right. You can get both books, I think maybe for $35. It's only 2 volumes. If you can't get those two, get Pliny the Elder. All right. And the reason being is because not only do they speak on astronomy, but they also teach about the course of the sun, the course of the moon. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. So what I'm doing, everybody,
I'm Shalom, Austin.
Hey, Shalom.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. All praise, Shalom. Welcome back, Gabar. All right. So I'm gonna screen share real quick, and I'm just gonna kind of show everybody what I'm clicking on. All right, I don't want everybody just be staring at me. So stop staring at me and feel funny now. Okay, so this is etymologies, Isidore of Seville. Okay, all right. Talk about this book all the time. Tell my friends, families, students, enemies. I don't care. I tell everybody, get this book, Etymologies of Isidore of Seville. All right. We go to the whole sections on it to where he teaches us about constellations and astronomy. All right. So it's not a hard book to find. I shared the link in there after the Shabbat. You can again purchase volume 1 and volume 2, about maybe $35. All right. I'll come back to that. All right. No buying. Don't look it up now. All right. Don't look it up now. Wait for after the Shabbat. I'm gonna look up the international fixed calendar. Encyclopedia Britannica. There we go. Thank you, Father. The Most High is so good. So 1771, I apologize. 1771, Encyclopedia Britannica, or a Dictionary of Arts and Science, compiled upon a new plan. Y'all see how it's ... Because the title of this book is heck long. It's super long. Okay, super long. Okay, so, but the cool part about it is going through this book, just like y'all can see on the screen share, you can read it online. So if I go to page 470, well, 452, right? If I go to page 452, now I literally can go, I was trying to see if I can just type it in, but nah. I go to page 4. Oh, ooh, watch this. Did you know you can do this? Look. No matches? Okay. Maybe I spelled it wrong. I think I spelled L-E-A-P. My bad. So again, one of my favorite things is study. I love studying. I love learning. I don't like not knowing things. So regardless of however, whatever's going on, your life, whatever, you can learn something from Yahweh that can't nobody take away, and that'll always be with you. All right. So here this is called the Internet Archive. I use it all the time. I will learn about a book and then I'll go and buy the book. All right. So this is Encyclopedia Britannica, the first edition, or the first. And as you go through it, all right, look. Here, let me pull this up. Let me close this window down and pull this up. All right. So look, these are all the pages that even just have the word moon in it. All right. Let me see. Let me scoot this over if I can. I don't think I can. We can click straight to the page though. Booyah! You see how that works? Yeah. So when I'm in my free time, this is literally what I do. I read. And you can do the same thing. If you have any issues studying or learning or trying to figure out how to do this stuff, man, the elders, I praise the Most High. The Zequanium showed me so much stuff. And I'm not like King Solomon, please give me. There's a statement that King Solomon made. King Solomon said he found wisdom and he discourses her with us liberally, or he shares wisdom with us freely. You see what I'm saying? So let me scoop all the way forward. Let's go down to the 500. Let's get to the astronomy. 500s. 514. I mean, you literally can just go anywhere from here. All right. So it's just that easy. You click in the word that you're looking for, and then this will take your studies to so far. All right. So this was the page that I had shared online earlier. Okay. So let me enlarge it. So for those that wasn't able to see, what I did was I had held up this page, and I was showing there's no indication that the earth is flat. That is one of the dumbest, outside from being a veganite. Being a veganite, I can understand that. The earth is flat, super dumb. So what I did was I went to this section. Do you see all the highlighted parts? This is just where the word moon is alone. So Shaddad, this is free information. Not only can you have it, Prince, man, I love you, man. I'm giving it to you free of charge and showing you how to get it. All right. Study to show yourself prove. This is one thing, like people, whatever people say, I just held this page up too. All right. People say the things that they say about you. When you show that you've been studying or that you actually know what you're talking about, you stop their mouths. All right. In humility, of course, you see where we at. 454. Yeah, that's where we at. So my last point is that the scripture says to buy the truth and to sell it not. If I could, I would get them what you call them, Jones, them Russian icons. Man, I go and buy them Russian icons rich now if I could. All right. Much, So the point is saying, so let me see, we're at 594. Here, let me show you this page. Now check this out. All right? Check this out. You see all this information? All of this is calculations that's been done before us ahead of time. All right. You see how this is spelled? Can you see that? It says a what? What's that word right there? What's that word? Read that for us, please. What's this first word? What's this first word, B? It says, can you see that, or do I need to make it larger?
Yeah, description.
A what again?
Yeah, description.
A description, but it's spelled DEFCRIPTION of the AFTROMONICAL. Astronomical. But this is to prove the validity and the time frame of this book, man. So my stance: go older. The older you go, the more valuable the information you'll find. Okay. So chapter 19, the description of the astronomical machinery serving to explain and illustrate the foregoing part of this treatise. I haven't went through this entire Sapar, but I'm gonna tell you this: everything that I did go through, when I try to present it to other people, either they weren't ready for it because it's like, hey, it's not time for that, or I had to stop. It's like a book being delivered to a person as one has learned says, "Read this to me, I pray thee." He says, "I cannot, for I am learned. I am unlearned." And then one delivered to him says, read it to me. He says, "I cannot, for it is sealed." All right. So once again, here we go. All right, Encyclopedia Britannica of the first edition. Same thing that you see on the page of the screen. So I would encourage. Now here's my request and here's my charge. Okay, not even to Shaddad. Okay, this is to the so-called elders. All right, so-called elders, what you call yourselves. Contact me. My number is 937-819-8266. Let's talk about this. Let's read some books. Let's talk about the so-called, the leap year, the time frame. Let's do some math and some calculating so we can all try to get each other what we were supposed to be doing from the very beginning of the first summits. Come together and talk about hard topics. Shaddad, if you don't mind, man, I'll speak more on this topic off of this call. All right, with Gabar and Lakam and Malak and the other officers, so I can share the information we have, and then if you brothers feel it's good enough to bring forward or work with off that, then cool. So I know and some people's like, oh, that's a Jewish thing. No, it's not. Counting is not a Jewish thing. The Most High gave us 12 months that we've seen. I've never seen the 13th month. So therefore, since I've never seen the 13th month, does that mean our counting changes? I got my opinion, So anywho, with that being said, Shaddad, I don't want to speak anymore on it on here. I mean, what I would like to do is talk to you brothers personally. All right, now I yield the floor.
I understand.
All right. So, I'm also gonna I'm pulling up some more stuff, man, because it's time to start answering questions. You feel me? So let me ask you a question. As far as this is beautiful. Here, I'm gonna share this link too, Shaddad, and then all you gotta do is click on it. Okay, and this is for everybody. All right, this is for everybody. All you gotta do is click on this link, and then you can go and start becoming, a student yourself. Okay. So Shaddad, what are you hearing? What's some of the stuff that Yashar is talking about?
Like I said, basically just every calendar I've seen, like, they're on one accord with the dates lining up, but it's that after the 12th month, they have a second 12th month before the month of Abib.
How do you have a second 12th month before the month of Abib? I don't understand that. I gotta see it, man. So it's like, okay, we got a 12 month on the calendar, and then on another calendar it says continuation, month number 12, part 2, and then it's the month of Abib.
Let me go to it real quick. It is.
Now, here's one of my issues with the one that has a second 12th month. What constellation does that land Passover in? Passover is the time frame of Aries. So since we know that, what is the one that has the second count? What constellation does that land us in?
So I see the second 12th month, they say March 9th, and then the first month begins April 7th. And then they have Passover lining up with April 21st, I believe.
Okay.
The sun would be in Taurus at that time.
All right, cool. So let me pull this up too. Astrological chart. All right, for those that are still watching online, we'll do a little separate screen share. All right. All right, now, so we're pulling up the astrological chart. We do not practice astrology. We practice astronomy. We practice the study of the stars and the constellations. There is nothing wrong with here. Let me show you all this too. Hold on. Let me see. Ephemeris. All right, and ephemeris is a table that shows the position of the celestial bodies at specific times. That's all an ephemeris is, everybody, okay? Nothing mystical and magical about that. All right, let's take one more step. I got a lot of windows open. Benjamin Banneker, Farmer's Almanac, first edition. I should have said first edition. Benjamin Banneker, first edition, Farmer's Almanac. All right. Did it pull up Farmer's Almanac first edition? Got some stuff. We'll see. Farmer's Almanac first edition. Benjamin Banneker improved on the Almanac from 1792 to 1779. Excuse me, 97. All right. Learn more about, Benjamin Banneker, 1793. Let's go with this 1792. This same book. Now watch this, y'all. This same book right here. Y'all see this? Look how much this book is worth. $2,500 if you want to buy this black man's book. This Negro man, whose name was Benjamin Banneker, who said that the moon and the earth and the sun, when they are lined up, are called inferior conjunction. The same Benjamin man, look at this, man. Now you can get one of these at the Dollar General or at the thrift store. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna say the Old Farmer's Almanac, etc. But it's not gonna look, like this. This was all written by a Negro. And if he tells, look at this, man, I love it, man. New useful. Look at that. Useful is spelled. My bad. Look at that. Useful. UFEFUL. New useful and entertaining matter. All right. By Robin B. Thomas. Boston printed. John West. All that good stuff. Farmer's Almanac. 1892. All right, man. $2,500 for that book. I ain't mad about it. But the point of saying all that is to say this. The same Farmer's Almanac that you can look up the way we did it last time, you can do the Farmer's Almanac. Hey, you want to see something funny? You can Google the trajectory of the moon. The stuff is easy, man. So I'm not saying easy like, oh no, like other people aren't, this stuff is easy, like how it made it so accessible for us to research and find it. So Benjamin Banneker again. So let me yield the floor on that. So I don't know what perspectives is. I've never clicked perspectives on Google ever. I've never done it before. I'll have to check it out. But this who Benjamin Banneker, 1795, got his face on it. All right. The older one's got his face on it. All right. Look at that. Man. All right. So why is this important? 1795, 1796. This Negro, Benjamin Banneker, so smart. Think about the year 1795. Wasn't no internet, wasn't no Google. See, but now we can download. Hold on, let me see. Ephemeris app. Now I have one of these apps on my phone, and I tell other people to download this. So there's an Ephemeris app. Let me see. I don't see it on here. Sun, Moon, Speaker, all that good stuff. No, I'm on my laptop, y'all. So it's like that. Plus, I got a Droid. I don't got no iPhone. So if I find it, I'll share it. The point of saying such is to say, look into Benjamin Banneker, see what he said about the so-called leap year. All right. If there's an extra month, an extended month. All right. Compare that with the Flavius Josephus telling of us that Passover is in the month of Aries. Okay. Benjamin Banneker, he understood the astrological constellations, the chart. He understood these things. All right. So we're looking for the time frame of let me see. We have Aries right here. Is that correct? Shaddad, we have Aries, then we have Taurus. All right, so we have Aries, then we have Taurus. Let's look on another one. Where's Taurus? There's Aries, there's Gemini. All right, we have Pisces. So for what we've seen is, let's use this one for an example, okay? Just because I like the direction it's setting, all right? So first month should be clock set number 1, all right? Month number 1. Aries, Passover is always supposed to be in this, as far as what I've seen. Now, if there's anybody know that's like, nah, man, it'd be at the end of Taurus. Like if somebody says, well, hey, look, it's in the middle of Taurus, I'll be like, well, show me where. You know, not just show me where astronomically, show me where we've seen it to be Passover. Because when Yahweh delivered us out of Egypt, it wasn't in the time frame of Taurus. It was during the time frame of Aries. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Aries. That's what I'm going to go with. I'll look more into it, but here goes something else. All right. So we're Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews. You see this, everybody says Josephus, AJ, which means Antiquities of the Jews, which is Black people history. Book number 3, chapter 10, paragraph 5, line 248. It says, in the month of Xanthicus, all right, which is called by us what? Nisan. Okay, well, here go another keyword. All right, let me copy that. I'm gonna put this over here, and then this hopefully will help you in the future. In my book, I have it marked in my Josephus and in my calendar. You know, I can go to it. I need help. But check this out. Xanthicus is the name of the 6th month by the Macedonian calendar of the Succulid Syrians. All right, it's mentioned in 2nd Maccabees. It's mentioned in 2nd Maccabees, chapter 11, 33. Verse 30, verse 33 and 38. In the Gregorian calendar, Xanthicus corresponds to April. In the Israelite calendar, it corresponds to Nisan. So if somebody's trying to come with me with a different date or a different time frame, I'm going to go with the historians and the antiquities writers that tells me that it is in the time frame of not only Xanthicus, all right, it's also going to be around the time frame of April, time frame of Nisan, and I'm going to take into consideration when will I see the Abawab, the Abib, all right, grow in the land. All right, that's something else I'm going to take into consideration. All right, why? Because it has to be.
Go
ahead, Ayuk.
Just a real quick question. What was the verse you said? It was 2nd Maccabees. What?
Sure, let's go back to it. 2nd Maccabees, chapter 11. All right. Verse 33, 30, 33, 38. All right. Now, here's something else that's cool, too. Amen. Here's something else that's cool, too, everybody. A lot of these Hebrew names, like Nisan and Xanthicus, you feel me? Like, these things are hidden in the scriptures. It's just we bounce past them. We you know, and I'm not talking to or about Shaddad or myself or anybody else. I'm telling y'all, this is something that we psychologically do. We just read things and we like, yo, okay, I seen that somewhere. But then like the Most High gives us precept upon precept with the scriptures, right? It'd be the same thing with words. And he'd be like, oh, I heard that somewhere, I seen that somewhere. Oh, that's this. And then we go to the index of Josephus, and Josephus break down all the months. All right. So in the month of Xanthicus, which is called by us, which is by us called Nisan, and is the beginning of our year, in the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in where? Anybody looking at the screen? Anybody? What?
Aries.
The sun is in Aries. So I don't know what other people are talking about right now because I have to see what they're talking about. They would have to come better than my Levite elder. He says, for in this month it was that we were delivered from bondage under the Egyptians. The law ordained that we should every year slay that sacrifice which I before told you we slew when we came out of Egypt, and which is called the Passover. So let me just go ahead and copy paste this. If anybody would like to use it, have it, please. It's free. Freely you receive, freely you shall give. So I don't have hidden information. It's just like, okay, boom, here go this. This is what the Most High said. All right. If you want to hide from, what did the brother say? Excellent, man. The brother said, if you want to hide something, put it in the book, make it expensive. I agree, 1,200. All right. So check this out. All right. So in the 14th month of Xanthicus, which is by us called Nisan, in the beginning of our year, on the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in Aries. So I'm going to be counting by the 14th day of the lunar month. And when the sun is in Aries, I don't care who wrote what. I'm be like, yo, I'm going to look into it, but I'm be like, Josephus told me that if I'm wrong this year and Yahweh allows me to live another year, then, all praise Most High, give me another year to correct it. But if nobody's proving nothing, I ain't turning off the lights. You got to prove it to me. Don't just Teddy Pendergrass me and tell me to come closer. It don't work like that. So with that being said, this is just my stance. And if I find other precepts to go along with this, me and my household going to be keeping the Passover in the time frame of Xanthicus. All right. In the time frame of Nisan, right? When the moon is going to be, when the sun is going to be in Aries. So I'm very familiar with, not very familiar. I'm familiar with some of the people's conversation and arguments. And I support them and I respect them. And if they're keeping the calendars based off of what we have, because that's really all we have, all we have right now is each other sharing information. If you or someone from your household feels like this calendar works and fits best for me, I am not the man to tell you that you're wrong or you off. I am only the person that says, I found this information over here. Y'all want to look at it too? If you feel that you found, not you, Shaddad, I'm talking to everybody that's on live at the sound of my voice. If any of you found or feel like you have, cracked the code, or you just really respect your elders and what they share with you, go with that. Because there's times where I'm just not sure. And I'm going to say, yo, what does Quayim talking about? And then I'm going to have that whole, we're rehearsing righteous acts. Then I'm going to have that whole, we're covered by the blood of Hamashiach and his grace. Then I'm going to have that whole, oh, man. What? Be ignorant of no thing. I got to learn this better. So I'm going to tell and suggest to everybody, I'm going to look at the calendars for myself. Shaddad is just now bringing it forward to me. We're closely coming up on Pesach and the beginning of the year. One major thing to keep in consideration is to seek Zion. All right. Contact the brother Free. All right. Pilgrimage to Zion. Contact, Matatwa. These two people travel to Yerushalayim very frequently. The brother Free. Contact him, brother B, Johan, and anybody from that specific body of believers, and ask, has anybody seen or is anybody watching for the first growing of the Abawab, of the Abib in the land? And I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to say that's in Jerusalem. We're right because we're in the land and we've seen the first one grow, and it's going to be not the same date as what the calendars say. Yes, it'd be like that, So until Hamashiach get here, it's gonna be like this. But don't let that be for a cause of derision or for anybody to step off. Let it be to sharpen you, to make you keep growing. So we're supposed to go based off of when we see the first sheaf of the barley budding and growing in Jerusalem. By the time we see it in Jerusalem, it's gonna be maybe a couple weeks later over here in the United Snakes. All right, in the United Snakes of America, KKK. All right, that's when we'll finally see it. All right. Now one thing that will be consistent, irregardless of where we will see the Bawab, the first budding of, because when all of us didn't live in Jerusalem all the time. Look at Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2, we came from all over the world. And in the process of, we heard each other speaking in different languages. So with that being said, Yahweh gave us an entire sky to look at, to learn when the constellation of Aries is coming in, not just when the first barley is ripening. So if Yahweh told me, look at the sky, and the time frame is named after Abawab, after Abib, when we can see the first ripening, and even when I'm not in Jerusalem, all I gotta do is look up. So I'm going to be going off of Aries. I'm going to be going off of Josephus's teachings. which I have found to be lined up with Encyclopedia, the first edition. Okay, I found that to be lined up with this. I found it to be lined up with St. John of Damascus. All right, Orthodox Faith is the name of the writing. I did not find it to be lined up with the Ethiopian text of the Book of Enoch. That's kind of a touchy one, but it's not really. The proof is it's hard to find that in complete writing in Paleo Hebrew. We got like 4 pages. So the Ethiopic text has like 900 pages or something like that. Like, how do I prove that? So let me go back to screen share, and Shaddad, I yield the floor at the water for everybody. Appreciate your time. All right. So there's nothing wrong with learning the astrological chart in order to learn what constellations are. If you have a problem with that, then what you can do is you can just get an ephemeris. If you say, well, hey, I don't want to learn that, then just get an ephemeris. All right, get an ephemeris, learn about Benjamin Banneker. All right, the Negro who wrote out the ephemeris. All right. And then you can also, this is the one I was talking about. This one, thank you, Father. If anybody sees this app, download this app. I have this app on my phone. This app is phenomenal. And I told the officers, the elders, I told my peers, they're like, which way is east? Which way is east? I got an app. I got a compass. Everybody turning in circles. I'm like, yo, just look at an ephemeris. Download this ephemeris. Yeah, everybody be the same direction. Outside from this, you can also make it to augmented reality. This specific app right here, you can turn it into augmented reality. This is what it looks like. This is the same one. I have this. I use this regularly. I've done videos showing people this, even in my craziest, times of no weather. Download this app. Just like I would tell you, buy this book, download this app. All right, let me see if I can get on my laptop. I got it on my phone, but whatever. Nope, it is what it is. But yeah, this is it. This mug is phenomenal. Ephemeris, Sun and Moon Seeker. All right, there you have it. So I'm going to be going with Josephus. There we go with that. Let me see. Let's go ahead and close this down. That's Antiquities. Isidore Seville's Etymologies. Here, let's do this real quick. Okay, chronology. All right. It's chronology. So just get the book. Just get the book. All right, chronology. If anybody has any questions, I'll talk to you about it if you ask me. Mathematics, music, and astronomy. Let's go to mathematics, music, and astronomy. And what do we find out in the astronomy section? First, we find out that I got to make the pages smaller because I have to find the right section. All right, so let me read this first, so you can understand. All right, so we can, excuse me, I didn't say it like that, so we can all understand. Now, watch this. All right, mathematics. Did you know that mathematics includes music? Did you know that mathematics includes geometry? Did you know that mathematics include understanding the constellations of the stars? I didn't. Mathematics has a wide range of so many different, categories. So as I'm learning about what this brother and everybody else is asking me today about, what we're looking at as far as calendar, leap years, etc. He didn't mention leap years. I mentioned leap year, which that might not even be the point. But look at this. So even in the music section, even in the astronomy section, you have music. Why? Because musical notes are math. And when Moses taught us the law, when Masha taught us the law, he taught us the law in musical notes of what's called a hexameter. So Masha was bussing bars. Moses was spitting bars, telling us to keep the law every hexameter verse. It's ridiculous. Absolutely beautiful. All right. So now skipping down the music section, let's get down to the juicy stuff. All right. Real quick, the sky and its name. All right. So he explains the sky and its name. The position of the celestial sphere. To all you flat earthers, I have no compassion for that doctrine. That is the stupidest pancake butterwall syrup doctrine ever. And when I seen it on Teen Titans, I was in tears. I was like, that is hilarious. So the position of the celestial sphere is what the elders call the earth. The speed of the sky, the axis of the heaven, the celestial polar regions or the polis. All right. The vaults of the heaven. So this explains, when people like the firmament. Okay. All right. The firmament is the same shape as the planet, which is a sphere. All right. So parts of the heaven. You see all these beautiful categories that people are missing, that skipping, that so many flunking elders are not bringing out. Why do I call them flunking? Because they teaching the same things over and over. Look at this. The hemispheres. All right. The hemisphere. What is a hemisphere? It's half part of a sphere. Let me show you this, man. My bad, Shaddad. I'm sorry you asked me, Prince. Now I'm going. Flat Earth.
You good?
Appreciate you. Love you too, Prince. Y'all see this? You see this dome that goes over the earth? You see this dome? It is so stupid. That is called a hemisphere. A hemisphere is half of a whole sphere. So all you do is listen, don't get twisted by none of these pictures. All I'm trying to get y'all to look at is this part right here. All right. This part that Israelites get trapped up on and they think it's called the firmament or it's the vault. No understanding. This is half of a sphere. The rest of this vault, which is also called the ozone layer, it's a circle. It's half of a sphere. So when you're looking at these so-called flat earth pictures and they like, it's a firmament, they don't even understand what the word firmament means. This is a good one. This is a good image right here. All right. Say it again.
So if you going off of the picture, if that's not the firmament, what would you consider the firmament to be?
This is the firmament, Prince. What I'm saying is that they're only showing you half of the picture, my lord. So this is half of a sphere, which is called a what? Exactly. So the hemispheres, a hemisphere is a half part of a what? It's a half part of a sphere. All right. So what they're doing is on these images, they're only showing us half part. Hemisphere is that is above the earth. Excuse me, let me read that again. Hemisphere that is above the earth is all that part of the sky that is seen by us. The hemisphere is under the earth. Excuse me, the hemisphere that is under the earth, that part cannot be seen as long as it is under the earth. So if the earth is a complete sphere, the hemisphere is only half of a sphere. So they're only showing us pictures and they're not taking us to the books to actually give us the definitions. So I would consider that to be a hemisphere. But my point of saying that is to say, in the imagery, they don't show us the entire ozone layer. They don't show us the entire sphere. All right. Portions of the ozone layer. So we have the part that we live on now, which is called the troposphere. So if we go to a flat earth image, everybody will see the flat earth part. Now, I'm not going to stay on the flat earth too long because that wasn't my objective. My objective was to show that on the flat earth images, they show what's called it would look ridiculous if they showed the earth flat, but they showed a complete circle atmosphere going around it. So they had to make it fit its doctrine. So the point of saying such as to say is when you look at other models and when you learn about the atmosphere is what we've learned it to be the ozone layer, that's all that people talk about when they're saying the firmament. When they're talking about the firmament, that's all they're talking about. Okay. So the different layers of them right now, we live on a troposphere, but but that's that. All right. So that's that. But let's get back to this information. All right. I hope that helps somebody. If not, then, come to this book. Maybe this book will help you. Now watch this. Let's see if this helps with understanding the so-called the firmament, because it is a firmament, but what the flat, earth, and this does segue us into what we were originally looking at, but I have to read this. I have to. I have to. All right, it says the 5 circles of the heaven. The 5 circles or the 5 zones or zona in the heavens is based on their different certain regions are inhabited due to their temperature, climate, and certain regions are uninhabitable from the brutality of the cold and the heat. They are called zones or circles. These are what the firmaments are. These are the pictures that I just finished showing y'all. It's like somewhere, somebody along some African, some Hamite was like, we are the real Bantus. The earth is flat. Noah's Ark is in Jamaica. It's like, yo, where you get this stupid information from? And why we ain't looking at books no more? So the point of saying all that is to say, is when we come to Isidore Seville's etymologies, we also learn about the word zodiac. And anybody that's on the phone or anybody that's on a conference call, can you give us a little bit of word or the information on the word zodiac in the Bible? Anybody?
Okay, what was the question?
Can anybody talk to us about the zodiac in the Bible? Just mention anything about zodiac in the Bible?
I believe it's Job 32 or Job 36.
Bring it out. That was excellent. All right. So there's a keyword that I'm going to look for, and I'm going to let you bring it out. I'm just going to type in the word on the screen. And I'll let you bring out the scripture. I appreciate you.
But do you know which one it was? 32 or 36?
I believe 36, but let's start at 32 because 32 don't hurt. I know it goes into the constellations. I thought it was 36, and it's actually 32. I apologize. But let's go into it because it goes from Mazzaroth to other stuff. Yeah, I yield.
Not so lucky because I'm still looking for the word, like the exact script.
It's okay. Here we had just had it, Saint. Job 38, and it's verse 32. And the only reason I have that is because I don't have it memorized. I just looked it up online while I was looking up the word Mazzaroth. Why are we looking about Mazzaroth? Because Israel is talking about this the time frame with the calendar and the earth being flat. Nobody brought that up to me. And the whole Shaddad, man, how dare they talk about the flat earth and the half of firmament, man? That had to make me talk about it, man. They wouldn't even have said nothing, Shaddad. I wouldn't even have said nothing, man. So anywho, so while we're looking for the scripture, while the brothers bring up the scripture, just call it out when you get it, and then we'll read all of this after the brother brings out the scripture.
Job 38 and 32. It says, "Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in its season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his season, with his son Salakia?"
Anything else, you stop right there. Now read on, please. Verse 33.
Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Knowest thou the dominion thereof in the earth?
See? So not only this, but he goes down, and the Most High is clowning us, or clowning Job, on the small things that we don't know. Let's go a couple up. Let's go up one verse, Shaddad and Gabar. And if you don't mind, let's read verse 31, 32, and 33 together.
Genesis, Job 38 and 31.
Come on. Whenever you're ready, Prince.
How do you want to say that?
Whoever, I was just calling both your names, but whoever to read, please. I'm getting hungry, man. I think after the Shabbat, man, I'm gonna eat a sandwich. But let's go ahead and read, please.
Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades?
Got him. So that word right there is Pleiades. Pleiades. Now, do you know what Pleiades is,
Wow.
Excellent. Canst thou loose the bands of Orion? Does everybody know what Orion is? Okay, right? So
I know it's a constellation.
Exactly. So we know Orion and Pleiades are two constellations going into Mazzaroth, which is the zodiac. So the Most High just dropped some major jewels on us. Pleiades, Orion, Mazzaroth. When you look at Orion's belt is the three constellations that go across. One of those is called Series A. And behind Series A, there's a planet called Series B. There's a tribe, a Hamite tribe. I don't know, they might be Israelites, but I don't know, they might be Hamites, I don't know. But they're called the Dogon tribe. And the Dogon tribe knows about Orion. To us, it ain't no big deal. But the Dogon knew about Orion and the planet that was behind Orion before the internet. So people thought it was only two series, Series A, Series B. But the Dogon tribe actually taught the white man that there's three of them. So there's actually three planets that are within the Sirius constellation that these Dogon tribe people know of. They call these people, they call the planet, you know, a certain name. The name escapes me at the time, but anybody y'all can look this information up. The point of saying that is it's right here in the book of Job, chapter 38, verse 31 and 32. Pleiades, Orion, Mazzaroth. And then you look up Arcturus. What? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Might as well go down to verse 33. So there's a lot of information here. There's nothing wrong with understanding the zodiac, with knowing the zodiac. I had a brother call me a warlock because I was studying the zodiac. It broke my heart, man, but it just showed me where he was at with me. So no, you're not a witch. You're not a warlock. If you study to show yourself approved, if you download an ephemeris app, I ain't even talking about this to defend myself, man. I don't get that. The point of saying that is to say, look into these things so when the time comes, you'll know how to answer questions. When the time comes, when people say, well, hey, you know, what's your thoughts about this? You'll actually give a valuable, you know, give somebody to look at, man. You know, give them something to look at, you know. So forgive me, everybody. I like to talk. I like to talk because I like to teach. I like to say what the Father showed me. And if you could learn it too, then we all learning together. Now we growing, all right? Because I personally believe that the students and everybody are way greater, smarter, more intelligent than me, you know. So let's go back to this real quick. This is Isidore Seville's etymologies, and we ended off on the circle of the zodiac. Now, remember, if y'all was paying attention, man, if y'all really care, I posted it in here. You know, I shared it. So I'm going to share it again just in case, and you can get this yourself. I've been trying to throw this at my brothers. I'm trying, yo, get this, get this, get this, get this. You know. So everything in his own time. So size of the moon, nature of the sun, path of the sun, the light of the moon, the course of the sun, the effects of the sun, the shapes of the moon, interlunar intervals, which that's new moon right there. So all the waxing crescent, they sound ridiculous. It's like a baby. When the baby is born, you don't see the baby until the baby come out. Then it's a new baby. Like, yo, you sound super stupid. Tell that to the mother that's been holding the baby for 9 months, feeling all the issues. What are you going to say? I'm not acknowledging the child until it come out? That's dumb. Interlunar intervals. It's so stupid. And then look, watch this. When I showed some of the peers this, they totally disregarded and tried to turn it back around. It was ridiculous. Look, the interlunar interval of the moon is the time between the waning and the waxing moon. You can't get around that. So the point of saying that is to say he does go into, you know, everything, the proximity of the moon, the location of the stars, the course of the stars, the changing course of the stars, the eclipse of the sun, the eclipse of the moon, the distances between the sun and the stars, the orbital number of the stars, the names of the stars and their reasons of their names. He even talks about what the Gentiles and how the Gentiles call them, what they call them, but how we call them something else, which also shows me that Isidore Seville wasn't rocking with the heathen. Now, was he a Gentile? I don't know. I can't say. I believe he was an Israelite, but that's, you know, but if I found out he was a Gentile, I'd be like, yo, you was a cold Gentile, man. You know, high five to you for teaching me and my people all this information. All right, so I'm going to yield the floor on that right there. That's the end of the page, and that's the end of my conversation on that, I guess. That's the end of the jewels. Now, if anybody would like to look any of that up, it's all free. It's right there. So, St. John of Damascus, Orthodox Faith, book number 2, chapter 7. Isidore of Seville's etymologies, Flavius Josephus. I will be keeping Passover during the time frame of Abib. So I yield the floor out. I don't think I have anything. I'm still looking up stuff, but I hope that answer, man. Anything else, brother? All right. No more statements? No more? Okay, me neither. All right, me neither. Me neither very much. But you did just put me on a journey to go and study now, man. Now I'm really about to go in. Like I need to see those 2 calendars too, so I can be like, here's this, here's that.
Well, let me know. Let me know when. I'm down to study as well.
Amen. Wadi Holla. All right, and if anybody else is interested, please contact Shaddad, contact Gabar. All right, call them as much as you can. All right. Know this. All right. The shapes of the constellations that are in the sky are just there for you to learn them, but it doesn't mean that that's what they are. So say like Arcturus. All right, Arcturus. All right, it has an arc. All right, Arcturus. All right, when you hear that and then you think about, you know, what constellation is that and you look it up, you're like, oh, that doesn't look like a California flag logo to me. You know, what's the logo of the California flag? So that doesn't look like a California flag logo to me, you know, but it's not for it to look like that. It's just to help you recognize it. So in your mind, you can say, hey, that actually looks like this. But when it's labeled, it's going to say a bear. When you see Arcturus, you know, you look at the great bear in the sky, and then you look and see, well, when Daniel was waiting for the son to be born, the Messiah to be born, what constellation was in the sky? Was it Arcturus? Was it the bear? You know? So look for the constellations, you know. Look for the constellations. I don't have any other questions. I don't have any other statements, man. I'm actually about to check out, man. Go give me a little peanut butter jelly sandwich, man. Almond butter. Okay. I'm not in the class. I'm just speaking. I'm waiting for y'all to end the class, man. You brothers. Huh?
That's all I have for now.
All right. Well, did anybody else have anything else they was bringing out too? With that being said, I'm going to get off here, man. Shalom, everybody. Enjoy y'all Shabbat. Enjoy class. Enjoy the Yawam today. All right. We got a lot of sunlight left, and I'm going to enjoy it. All right. Shabbat shalom for me, everybody. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, man. Shabbat shalom, everybody.